guys, welcome to our last couple days of March 2023. We have made it through this very active, intense, energetic month. As we're closing out this last couple days, though, it's definitely going to benefit us to embrace the expect the unexpected attitude, try to be a bit more adaptable, go with the flow. We have Uranus and Venus coming into an exact alignment in the sign of Taurus. This could bring some disruptions, some shakeups, some unexpected turns of events or changes of plans to relationship dynamics, financial ship dynamics, work stuff, partnership stuff. So we've got that going on. We need to talk about that. Simultaneously, we also have Mars and Saturn in an exact trine together in water signs, and then the south node actually over there in the sign of Scorpio, that third water sign that is in very close proximity as well. This grand water trine energy, we talked a bit about this yesterday, but this is facilitating a karmic release while simultaneously actually helping us to ground some of our higher ideals and aspirations, dreams, goals into reality as we are moving forward in this new cycle of creation and freeing our heart, really. That's also being represented by the Venus-Uranus conjunction. Now, we are in black moon energy over this next couple of days, you guys. The moon is entering the sign of Leo, where the black moon currently is, and will be forming an opposition to Pluto today as well. So things could honestly be a little bit intense. There could be some issues with power struggles going on and transformations that are currently underway as well. Again, we are in a very transitional period right now. This has been an extremely transitional and powerful month, and we are closing it out really in the same fashion that we've been experiencing as this whole month of March, and the beginning of our new moon and Aries cycle has indicated for us. So let's get into our chart of the day, you guys. Let's look at this energy in a little bit more detail, sort of break things down, see how they may be impacting us in our journey on the ground today. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Thursday, March 30th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day. And if you guys stick with me till the end of this report, we're also going to be looking at some tarot cards that came out for today as well, because I always like to tap the field from more than one modality whenever I'm analyzing energy, just to get a couple different takes on what is playing out for us. So we're going to do that as well. We're going to do that at the end. We're going to start with the astrology, as we always start with the astrology. Closing out, yes, this next couple days of March. This video is specifically for Thursday, March 30th, but we can also kind of take this energy and apply it to Friday as well. The next video that I'm going to put out after this is going to be my April overview. So I'm going to skip my traditional weekend videos that I usually do because April's coming in this weekend and we need to look at what is coming at us throughout the course of that month. So that will be my next video, but the energy that I'm talking about today can very much be applied to tomorrow as well, because not much is changing. The moon will still be in Leo tomorrow. We'll still be in black moon energy. We will still have Venus and Uranus conjunct. We will still have this grand water trine going on, although things will be just a little less direct than they are today. Today we're getting some very direct, very exact hits and activations of this energy. So that being said, you guys, let's talk about it. Combination of things happening today. Very powerful day energetically. Pluto just moved into the sign of Aquarius, you guys. Pluto's currently at 0 degrees. Pluto's the planet ruling power in all of its forms. 0 degrees is a critical degree. This is one of the most powerful degrees of any sign placement. It's the origin point, the initiation point, the initial activation of that energy of that degree, and it sort of holds all the potential that will unfold throughout the 30 degrees of that sign. Pluto, being this very powerful planet, this very powerful force at this 0 degree origin initiation point of the sign of Aquarius, ruling the future, ruling revolution and innovation. It's a very powerful placement of Pluto. So when the moon is exactly activating Pluto by, square or, specifically opposition, I feel or conjunction, when Pluto's at 0 degrees, this is probably going to have a pretty powerful effect, and it's probably going to create a pretty powerful energy day with some pretty powerful stuff going on, and some transformative events, occurrences, ongoings, power struggles coming up. So just intensity generally, I think, could be a bit highlighted in the field today as a result of the moon coming into the opposition with Pluto, who is at that 0-degree mark. Now, of course, we also have sort of an electrified energy going on as well. We have Venus ruling, you know, our desires and what we want, relationships and balance, inner peace and harmony. But it's the Taurus end of the spectrum of Venus, because we're talking about this alignment happening in the sign of Taurus. Now, Venus rules both Taurus and Libra, but because Venus is in Taurus right now, like wearing her Taurus attire, and Uranus is also in the sign of Taurus, this alignment is happening in the sign of Taurus. It's these Taurus themes, it's this Taurus expression of Venus's energy that we are more likely to experience in the realms of the Uranian flavor sort of being electrified for us. And that is like the work realms of things. Taurus is a sign of the builder. It's about growth, it's about potential, it's about abundance, it's about beauty, it's about, you know, stability and security and material abundance. So relationships and partnerships, yes, you know, love and money. Venus always rules love and money, but I feel like more along the like financial, work-based, work partnership, who we're working with, you know, and those type of dynamics and financial agreements and stuff like that, likely to be more impacted by, again, like this Uranus energy, this Uranus flavor over this next couple of days. And yeah, yes, relationships could be perhaps like a bit all over the place, but like just the encounters and the meetings and the interactions that we're having with others could be kind of bizarre or unusual or unexpected. Plans, changes to plans, especially in terms of like social ongoings or gatherings or, you know, parties, stuff like that may not exactly be going the way that we had anticipated. And like I said in the beginning, you know, being prepared to sort of expect the unexpected this week, making ourselves a bit more adaptable and moldable, mutable, one might say, in terms of our ability to like adjust to whatever is coming at us. Like this is going to benefit us in our experience as we're going through this energy. But we do have that, you know, we have this Venus and we have this Uranus coming together. They're also starting a new cycle together. This is changing preferences in the sign of Taurus. This is like changing tastes, like literally perhaps, maybe even in terms of like our diet and what we are desiring to like eat over this Venus Uranus cycle over this next year, but also just like generally in what we're interested in, what we're attracted to, what we desire. Like this is shifts and changes suddenly, like sudden switches, sudden changes to our preferences just generally going on. Value-based changes as well. We may find ourselves just like spontaneously valuing this over that, prioritizing this over that, no longer having a taste or a desire for this, but instead like feeling more attracted and compelled and magnetized towards that. Like that is sort of just generally what this energy could be doing, as well as these planets are once again aligning in the sign of Taurus. This also has to do with resources, financial, sudden unexpected financial gains, sudden unexpected also financial losses, and a desire to free our heart, to liberate ourselves from anything that we feel like is like holding us back or dragging us down, or that is just like not exciting us anymore, keeping us like in a state of stagnation or feeling just like bored or understimulating. We're really looking for some type of heart-based, okay, like stimulation or excitement. We want to really feel alive when we have Venus and Uranus coming together. This is kind of actually being exacerbated as well by the, I feel like the Moon Pluto opposition and the Black Moon Leo energy that is being kicked up this weekend also. There may be something about the energy where we are really sort of reflecting on what it is that is keeping us out of being in a state of like true inner joy, or like really feeling alive in our own experience, or like preventing us from being able to truly feel like we're like really thriving and growing at this point in our lives. And it could have to do, you know, with our own ego issues, like where is our need to prove something or to be someone or to, you know, receive some type of external validation interfering with our ability to experience like that true source of like joy or passion or like heart-based expression or connection that is helping us to feel truly like joyful or purposeful or like thriving or alive in our lives as well. But it's, you know, these energies working together. And then the other dynamic that we have playing out, of course, is the exactness between Mars and Saturn, both in these water signs, and then only 2 degrees off from the south node in the sign of Scorpio. Saturn at 3 degrees of Pisces, Mars at 3 degrees of Cancer, south node. This is the past. This is, what we're releasing, what we're moving away from. This is karmic loops that we've been attached to in the sign of Scorpio that have been stealing our power or preventing us from recognizing the truth of our value internally. This is representing these 3 planets together like an active process of karmic release on one hand. On the other hand, helping us to actually solidify and to form into structure some of our higher ideals or our dreams or our wishes or, the visions of what could be into reality. We're talking about Saturn in the sign of Pisces. This is forms, this is structures, this is laying foundations that are actually like enduring and long lasting. And we're talking about in the sign of Pisces. Saturn in the sign of Pisces over this next couple of years, you guys, yes, it's demanding accountability. Yes, it's demanding that we are honest about things and that we are not hiding from the difficulties that life presents us, and that we're not running away or avoiding or, manipulating or being deceptive in any type of way. That's not going to fly with Saturn and Pisces. But on the higher octaves, this energy gives us a tremendous ability to literally manifest and ground our dreams into reality if we're not lying to ourselves and others, right? If we are really taking our potential, our higher vision, our higher ideals seriously, we can truly create a 3D environment that is very reflective of, wishes and dreams into reality, like our making our imagination come true. That is another dimension of what this energy represents. And so we have that to work with. And when we're talking about Mars and Saturn in the trine, you guys, Mars and Saturn together is master builder energy. Mars is our energy. Mars is, how we're acting, how we're behaving, how we're channeling our life force energy, our will, our motivation. In the trine, the facilitating aspect with Saturn, this is that discipline, and this is that control, and this is that endurance and the ability to focus and concentrate. Very focused, concentrated effort and energy put into creating things that can truly endure and stand the test of time in alignment with that higher vision and those higher ideals. And then simultaneously, when we have the south node there, this is a karmic release from the emotional energy of the past, being in these water signs that told us that we couldn't do it, or that we weren't enough, or that we didn't have it within us, or that we needed to sacrifice or surrender dimensions of ourselves in order to receive some type of external validation or love, or have our needs met in some way from some type of external source. As we are moving towards the age of Aquarius with the north node in the sign of Taurus, remember, the south node in the sign of Scorpio always opposes the north node. They're in an opposition, and they represent 2 sides, destiny and karma, past and future, where we're going and where we've been, the path of growth and what we have to release in order to get there, what we've already mastered. With the north node in the sign of Taurus, this north node is also forming a sextile to both Mars and Saturn. This is another facilitating, assisting aspect. So, this karmic release that we're going through right now, this release from these destructive emotional patterns that had been keeping us from recognizing the truth of our value, are being that is what we're being detached from. That is what we are moving away from, moving on from in this transitional period. That is the ending. The beginning is the recognition of the truth of this value and the truth of this potential and this trajectory towards growth and development and, the creation of this material beauty or abundance or stability as a result of the cultivation of that potential that we recognize within, that is restoring the sense of internal self-empowerment. Simultaneously, Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius, the sign of the individual, but also the collective. Pluto, power in all of its forms. Pluto is also returning the power to the individual, extrapolated out to the collective. This is the re-empowerment of, the individual, of humanity. This represents a phase where we are moving towards personal self-empowerment. Pluto in Aquarius representing that. The north node in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, Venus in Taurus right now, also representing that self-empowerment comes through the recognition of the truth of our value as a result of this trine in water being represented, this emotional detachment from the false perceptions of the past, which had been blocking or, disturbing, destroying our ability to come into that power, us sacrificing and surrendering that power out of that lack of recognition. We're having this awakening, right? Uranus is the planet that rules awakening in the sign of Taurus, awakening to the truth of authentic value. Uranus also brings disruptions though, it upsets comfort zones. Uranus is sort of like the Tower card in tarot. It's lightning striking the tower. It brings things crumbling down, but only when we haven't been able to make some important changes for ourselves. Only when we are operating coming from a place that is not authentic and not in recognition of our purpose, of our potential, of our value. Because Uranus, Aquarius, this is about the future. This is about development and innovation and progress and progression. And if we're stifling our own growth or, neglecting to see our purpose and neglecting to go down the path in alignment with the truth of that purpose and the truth of that destiny, then the Uranus energy, when it comes through, it will disrupt comfort zones. It will shake things up. It will, pull the rug out from under us and remove the ground out from under our feet. But it is happening to actually show us something, to awaken us to something, to put us back on a trajectory that's in alignment with that authentic growth that is going to lead to that future that is indicated by, the proper karmic path that we're being pulled towards, which is represented by the North Node, right? It's really just this. Everything is choreographed right now and is working, very synchronistically and very simultaneously to achieve the same ends, the same means, which is our transition into the age of Aquarius that is happening right now. So, again, as we were closing out this month of March, major energetic activations happening that are pushing us along that path to self-actualization, the hero's journey. At the, end of the day, that is what this translates into, this rising into our higher selves, activating our destiny, discovering our potential, process of self-actualization. So combination of intense energy, our fears, our insecurities, our doubts may be coming up this weekend as well. We do have that black moon being activated. This can really bring up our shadow side issues, but whenever we have the black moon activated, it's to help us gain an awareness of some of the deeper aspects of our subconscious mind, or the more hidden aspects of our nature that may actually be working against our ability to gain that true inner joy or to discover that true purpose. Where are we sabotaging ourselves based on subconscious programming that is, a reflection of a trauma response instead of a reflection of the conscious desires of our soul and of our higher self. So if these things are coming up in these energy, if we find ourselves navigating and, dealing with some of our deeper issues really being triggered in some type of a way, this is the universe showing us, what we need to work through at this point in time to free our heart and to liberate ourselves and to rise out of any lower issues or any ego patterns or whatever that have been keeping us held hostage to a version of ourselves that can't experience the true satisfaction and the true fulfillment that comes from us being free to move down this path of self-actualization and find that purpose and activate that destiny and all that type of stuff that universe wants for us right now. So, a lot of the struggles that we are coming up against at this point in time in the where we're at in the unfolding of this cosmic blueprint right now have a lot to do with, whether or not we are essentially working through healing and releasing ourselves from karmic issues. Okay. The loops, the patterns are likely to be very apparent, sort of instant karma if we are going against, or if we are making choices and having mindsets and behaving and acting and feeling in ways that are contradictory to what we've learned in the past and to what our past experiences have showed us are and are not the ways to behave. So I feel like that is something that, really could be an aspect of our experience over this next couple days as well. But, like I said, this combination of energy, Mars, Saturn in the South Node, and also the moon, Pluto energy with the black moon, seeking release and the ability to constructively channel this emotional energy to release or to end something. Mars and Saturn, this is a constructive use of our energy in water signs. This is actually a constructive channeling of our emotional energy for for the purpose of releasing or moving on from something, liberating and freeing ourselves from something suddenly as well, with Venus and Uranus coming together. Matters of the heart, tastes, preferences, finances, values, growth, endings and beginnings. Again, like very, very relevant in the energy as it's expressing this last couple days of March. This energy is helping us to release ourselves from one thing and to embrace something that could be, with Venus and Uranus together, something like radically new and different. But it's likely, honestly, again, to do with partnerships and like who we're working with, or the resources that we're working with, or like the financial dynamics and dimensions of things. We could definitely see some surprising news in the energy today on more of a macrocosm level as well, having to do with alliances, partnerships, like resources, supply chains, deals, negotiations, and like financial markets and economies and stuff like that. Very powerful energy day though, very powerful with the 0-degree Pluto being triggered by the moon, okay? Breakdowns, transformation likely, just because Pluto is this death and rebirth energy. Pluto breaks things down, but it also builds them back up in a much more evolved way. It's the Phoenix rising energy. So, in the sign of Aquarius, this is the sign, like I said, of the individual. It's of authenticity, it's of truth, it's of uniqueness, but it's of our own individuality and of our own uniqueness in the context of how this contributes to the overall betterment and is of service to the overall whole, okay? It's the individual in the context of the greater good of all of humanity. So what has been stealing our power, right? With the moon in Leo coming into an opposition with Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, the moon in Leo with the black moon there. Leo has a lot to do with power as well as a sign, and it's ruled by the sun, right? What makes us grow? What makes us thrive? What makes us feel alive? It's the internalization, okay, of the life force energy when we have the moon in the sign of Leo ruling our internal environment, our feelings and our emotions. So, in the direct reflection with Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, what has been stealing our power? What has been stealing our life force energy? What has been stealing our joy, right? What has been stealing our vitality or our light? And what do we need to remove ourselves from? What death and rebirth process do we need to go through? What regenerative or transformative process do we need to go through in order to have that joy or that light or that life force energy or that vitality restored within us? How do we alleviate that? How do we come back into our full power and really feel alive again? I feel like these might be some of the things that we're sort of really thinking about in this energy, especially with the Mars-Saturn South Node going on. What do we need to release? What do we need to move on from so that we can turn those dreams and visions into reality that we do believe are possible now? Saturn in the sign of Pisces, another thing this energy does, it breaks down the boundaries between what is and isn't possible, what isn't rational, what isn't conceivable. So really over this next 2 years, anything is possible as long as we are working with universe and we're working with our higher selves and we are like doing things in the right way that Saturn would, appreciate and approve of to allow these manifestations to come into proper formation and existence. So, really like the sky is like honestly the limit in this energy, but what changes do we need to make to free our heart and to free our soul also, right? This water energy, this moon energy, Mars in the sign of the moon opposite Pluto, so that we can go through this process of creating what is a better reflection of our true purpose, and therefore provides this greater sense of fulfillment moving forward into this next phase of life and creation. That is a very new dimension of reality coming through as we are moving forward towards the age of Aquarius. Like, these are the type of questions, these are the type of themes that this may be like stirring up on some very deep levels within us. And here's another thing, like, people are probably not going to be like really verbalizing or really talking about maybe some more like withdrawn emotions also, because we're talking about Mars and Saturn and these water signs in this trine. This is this very constructive utilization of the emotional energy, but it is a very channeled emotional energy. It's limited, it's refined, it's controlled. This is not people just sort of letting it all out. Like, this is no overflows of emotions, okay? This is just a very strategic way of dealing with emotions, dealing with feelings, but it's definitely got a lot to do with moving on and removing blockages to us feeling like we are, more empowered in our own experience and able to experience greater levels of joy in our lives. So Venus and Uranus together, you guys, today. Expect the unexpected things most likely happening with people generally. You're talking about Venus, people, and money. Unexpected disruptions in relationships, in partnerships, work situations, financial situations likely. Changes to plans, sudden meetings and encounters. This is another way this energy can be coming through. Likely to be powerful and profound, especially because we've got Pluto, 0 degrees of Aquarius. Aquarius, of course, is ruled by Uranus in the conjunction with Venus. Sudden relationship breakdowns coming out of nowhere that are just like done and there's no going back. Like that type of thing, likely. Simultaneously, very powerful or profound or meaningful, spontaneous random interactions or people just like materializing in your life out of nowhere that have some type of like long lasting or memorable impact as well. This is just generally things being sort of weird, coming out of nowhere, but endings and beginnings, death and rebirth, just sudden materializations of profound, significant, important people, relationship dynamics, relation with others some way, somehow. That could be very stimulating, very exciting. Simultaneously, just like sudden abrupt endings that just totally came out of nowhere that were extremely unexpected. And that's just what it is, just this abrupt, unexpected, sudden, perhaps shocking stuff that is just happening. Relationships, finances, stimulating, exciting, different, just very life-changing things happening with other people, but it's probably, work, partnership, financial, resource, project, creative projects, art, music, beauty, like stuff like that as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes, you guys. And then of course, Mars and Saturn together, the energy and willpower to translate dreams, turn dreams and goals into reality, not settling, not giving up, not giving in, but ready to move on from past hangups. Let's talk about some symbolism now, you guys. The sun today at 10 degrees of Aries. That Sabian symbol is a teacher gives new symbolic forms to traditional images. So again, this is another reference going on to like moving on from one thing into a different way, an evolution of something, seeing things in a new way through new eyes, a shift in perspective, a change in preferences, a change in understanding, things taking on new meaning, an evolution in perception or in purpose somehow. Also, another theme that we have coming through, which I feel like is also being sort of indicated by the planetary placement today, is choosing the higher self over the ego. This Venus-Uranus conjunction is happening at 17 degrees of the sign of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a symbolic battle between swords, the disciples of might, and torches, the disciples of enlightenment. So, what's it going to be? Is it going to be the ego and the instinctual nature, or is it going to be, the higher self and the wisdom gained through experience and coming from a place of self-actualization and self-mastery? That's sort of the spiritual battle that's underway right now as we are going through this transitional phase, heading into the age of Aquarius, moving from the more ego-based nature to a sense of self-mastery, operating in alignment with our higher selves. Again, Saturn in the sign of Pisces, this duty, this responsibility, this commitment to align with our higher selves and with a higher power over this next couple of years. It's interesting as well because I feel like the Earth and Mars are both simultaneously kind of talking about this process in their symbolism today. We have the Earth at 10 degrees of Libra. That Sabian symbol is a canoe approaching safety through dangerous waters. We have Mars at 3 degrees of Cancer. That Sabian symbol is an Arctic explorer, leads a reindeer through icy caverns. So we are transitioning from one thing to another, but we are leaving these more difficult challenges and this internal turmoil in the past as we transcend, out of our lower natures. The symbolic battle between the swords and the torches being spoken about there. And we also have Jupiter at 19 degrees of Aries, the magic carpet of Oriental imagery, this wisdom through experience, giving us this bird's eye view, giving us this greater perspective and this ability to see like the overall situations that are going on and try to make some better choices for ourselves. Still in a conjunction to Chiron, 3-degree orb separation now, but this is still a pretty close conjunction. Chiron is currently at 16 degrees of Aries. Nature spirits are seen at work in the light of the sunset. So, you know, things coming to an end, things coming to a close, another very transitional energy, again, in relation to perhaps wounding of the past phases of victimhood, past stages of life where we were more attached to these feelings and perceptions of victimhood that we are releasing ourselves from, moving on from, transitioning out of now as a part of this process of coming back into the truth of our power, all working together again, gaining this greater perspective. I'm telling you guys, like, making good choices based on patterns from the past, lessons from the past. This is what is going to release us into this new future that is no longer a reflection or a repetition of the same lessons over and over again. Finally, we also have Mercury at 23 degrees of Aries today. That Sabian symbol is a woman in pastel colors carrying a heavy and valuable but veiled load. We may not at this point in time see the worth or the value in the weight of the experience that we've gone through, or in the burden that we feel like we've had to carry, or, you know, in the weight of the world that we may have felt like it was on our shoulders, or, you know, what was weighing heavy, so heavy on our heart, or, you know, just these more difficult burdens and experiences that we've gone through over this past period of time. We may not be able to perceive at this point in time what it was about, or, like I said, the true value behind it. But that is what is in the process of being revealed to us as we go through the rest of 2023 as well. And it's definitely there. We're talking about a value. It's a heavy load and it's a valuable load, but it's veiled. Okay. We may just not truly perceive what it actually is, or why it actually happened, or what the meaning was behind it at this point in time. But when we do, we will realize the significance of the value that was represented by the weight of the experiences that we've gone through over, I personally feel like, this past 3 years building up until our most recent new moon in Aries that we had a couple of weeks ago. So that's what I have to say today, you guys, for the nature of the energy underway, where we're at in our energetic transition into the age of Aquarius, which is what we are documenting here on this channel. And that is how the astrology, I feel like, is coming together today, the overall themes. Could be these intense experiences coming up in relation to other people, in relation to financial dynamics, in relation to like our own ego issues, and what we need to free ourselves, what we need to release, what we need to move on from, what we need to detach from, in order to like really start feeling alive again, start feeling like ourselves again, start feeling like we're strong and effective, and, you know, like we're growing and like we're thriving and like we're in alignment with our purpose, because that is what everything is pushing us towards at this point in time. So that's what we're going to say for the astrology. Let's talk about the tarot now just for a minute. We got a pretty simple message coming out today. In terms of the tarot, we have also, I want to start the reading by talking about the cards that we have on the back of the deck. All right, we've got the Four of Swords coming out on the back of the deck, and the 10 of Swords in reverse was directly below that. This is telling me like whatever, if we've been going through a period of like some very difficult struggles or fights, or, you know, something that, you know, we didn't even know if we'd make it out of, we felt like might be the end of us, might be the death of us in one way or another. This is saying that we can actually like rest easy, that we've made it through, that we've survived, and that we don't need to put energy, or especially like our thought-based energy, mental energy, into worrying about it right now. This is talking about a need to cultivate a sense of mental peace in the context of whatever we've been through, because it's over at this point in time. Like that, you know, whatever has been worrying us or stressing us out, or, you know, really interfering with our ability, again, maybe to like feel good in our lives and like we are on track and like everything is okay, like that time has passed. And, you know, we need to sort of, again, cultivate this sense of mental peace in this energy. Now, the cards that we actually had coming out, we have the Page of Swords coming out, followed by the Four of Pentacles in reverse, followed by the Star card. Here's this Aquarius energy coming through. Four of Pentacles in reverse. This is that Venus energy. This is that Taurus energy. This to me is talking about these divinely aligned endings in financial or partnership based dynamics, things that we are releasing, that we are surrendering, that we are letting go of, with the faith that everything is actually working in our benefit right now and not coming from this place of fear, right? The battle is over. We've made it through. Whatever we were up against, whatever we were fighting, whatever was really maybe we felt like under attack by, or it could even be our own mind or our own anxieties or our own like mental issues we've been struggling with, but whatever that issue was, it's past, and we need to release and let go of whatever we've been holding on to as a result of that, or whatever's been holding us back, or whatever we've been clinging to for comfort or something like that, with the faith that it's going to be okay. The Page of Swords coming out first. This is requiring a fresh perspective. This is requiring a fresh mindset, being able to see things through new eyes, sort of. And it's interesting because yesterday we had a message similar to this, and we had the Hanged Man coming out first, which was also talking about a need to really like switch our perspective, change our perspective on something. And today is almost like the progression of that energy. It's like we have gone through this perspective shift, or perhaps gained this sense of illumination, and now there's like a need to just see things from this more fresh or innocent or almost like naive perspective. This is also a messenger card, the Page of Swords. This is also just like random communication, spontaneous communication, again, just suddenly out of nowhere, unexpected, over the internet, online as well, random news that causes or helps us to release and let go of something that is inspiring. But with this combination of cards, it's like a message of hope also that is coming through, that is also helping us to release, to move on, to move away from something that is just not, it's not benefiting our mental peace at this point in time as well. So that is what the message is saying today in terms of the tarot cards. Uranus and Venus coming together. This is endings and beginnings, new cycles in, liberating our heart, or changing our desires, or changing our tastes, or changing our preferences, changing what we want, changes to what we want over this next year. So that's what we're going to say in terms of the tarot today, you guys. Let's grab one more card now, a synchronicity card. God, Spirit, Universe, what is a good mantra or some advice or a message that can benefit us as we are going through our day today and through the next couple of days? Okay, and this card just flipped over. It says God's the boss. So yeah, and surrendering the burden to the higher power with the knowledge that things are truly working out in our best interests, despite present appearances, perhaps. Uranus is blessings in disguise. A lot of times when Uranus is operating, it seems like the worst thing in the world. Fast forward to the future, looking back, it was actually the best thing that ever could have happened. God's the boss. Who then is that faithful and wise steward? Luke 12:42. You must do your job joyously and faithfully in the knowledge that God is your boss. Your subconscious will then respond and promote you and remove obstacles to your success. Have a constructive vision, be faithful to your vision, show respect for authority, and you will be prospered along all lines. I'm telling you, like, that is what Saturn wants in this Pisces energy, in this grand trine with Mars, master builder energy, aspecting the nodes of the moon, destiny and karma, what we're releasing, what we're moving on from, and the next phase of growth that we're going through now. Saturn is going to bring some really good things if we can, like this card says, maintain a constructive vision, be faithful to our vision, show respect for authority, and we will be prospered along all lines. So that's what we got today, you guys. God is the boss. And that being said, that's all I have to say. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Share it with your friends if you think they would like this type of astrology as well. Leave me comments. So grateful for all of you. I really appreciate knowing how this energy is affecting you. If you're having experiences that are in alignment with the energy, please let me know in the comment section below. I also have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, and Instagram, some other social media stuff in my description box below also. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. Like I said, I will have my April video out. Maybe it won't be tomorrow. Maybe it will be on the day after that. It might be tomorrow though. I haven't quite decided yet. We'll have to see how things go in this expect the unexpected Uranus change to plans energy. But either tomorrow or the next day, we'll have the April overview out. That will be the next video. I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. We're heading into eclipse season. Probably going to be another very active month of astrology. So I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful day. And until next time, bye.